Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahushai, Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahushai, Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahushai, Bahashon Hakodash. I also want to give double honors to our elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone who well. Peace and blessings, health and wellness to the house of David the elect. I'm Zahar, Spirit, we in Judah. And today I want to go into a topic entitled Fighting While Wounded, Recovering from Recovering from PORN. And I guess I just call it filth. All right? Fighting while wounded, recovering from PORN, recovering from filth. Um, it tells you in the scriptures that they that are of Yahweh are of a new creature. All right? And that new creature isn't literally a new creature. It's you living out of the spirit as opposed to living to please the flesh. All right? And when you embrace his word with the spirit of understanding, all right, you are pouring into your spirit. But also, as it says in Galatians, all right, that the spirit and flesh war against each other. And what Babylon does, Babylon has agencies that amplifies the cravings of your flesh. So you already have lust inside of your flesh by nature. Babylon, it being a Roman Empire also, it has things such as filth on the internet that draws out that lust on a hyper level, on a hyper level. So you already have fantasies in your mind. You already have uh, desires, and you've been having that probably since you started puberty. But we are the same. The scripture says there have no temptation taking you, but such as is common to man. But Yahweh is faithful that he would not suffer you to be tempted above that you are able, but with the temptation create a way for you to escape. That's one of the scriptures that I do know by heart through the Spirit and power you have us most sight. So you've already had desires since puberty. All right, now because of the advent of the internet, high speed internet, you're able to hyper feed your flesh. And now that you have been, now that you've activated your spirit and you like the feeling of pouring into your spirit or through reading, watching videos, you notice that when you resort to filth, you feel estranged from the Most High. You feel out of tune. Now, the scriptures also say, prove thy soul and thy life, and that which is evil for it, give not that unto it. For all things are not profitable for all men. So, certain things are not going to destroy a brother or it's not going to hurt a brother spiritually, but certain things are. So, another brother might not have the same problems that you have. So, when it comes to filth on the internet, don't be surprised if another brother your account that you explain that to, he might not really understand because it doesn't affect him like that spiritually. Now, first, let's deal with the laws. Is it a law or is it against the laws of the scriptures to watch filth? It's not a sin, all right? But my take on that is, it's not a sin, but like I said, prove thy soul in thy life and see what is evil for it and give not that unto it. So if it's not good for your spirit, then you shouldn't do it. Now, the thing with filth is highly addictive. It's highly fucking addictive. And being a man is in this truth for since for years, you know, that's a common temptation. All right? And you can't be too hard on yourself if you find yourself losing that spiritual battle, because that's what it is. It's just um it's just you losing inside joke. It's just you losing that spiritual battle for the moment. But when you can't be too hard on yourself. What you have to do is you have to be in the spirit of recovery. You have to be in the spirit of recovery. You have to accept, all right, as a man or a woman, that this is your nature in the flesh to not literally be perfect. So you might ask yourself, why do I deal with this on this side? Why is it something that I have to deal with being in the truth? Because you have to have some type of resistance. All right? 2 Corinthians, the 12th chapter, the Apostle Paul was buffeted with resistance. He had to deal with an infirmity. He asked the Most High, why am I dealing with this infirmity? And the Most High answered him and said, my grace is sufficient for you because my strength is made known through weaknesses. So he also said that lest he be puffed up through the abundance of revelations that he received, he was given a thorn in the flesh by Satan. And if you read the New Living Translation of that verse, where it says, "Lest I be exalted above measure," all right, by men because of my revelations, all right. In the New Living Translation, it says, "Lest I be proud." So you have things that humble you and make you feel like crap, and it makes you feel lower, and you fell from that ethereal celestial place or in the spirit because being up here too much can make you proud. All right. So it's a common temptation. You minding your business. Next thing you know, you get to clicking over. You spend too much time by yourself. Next thing you know, you watching filth. This is Proverbs 24:16. For a just man falleth 7 times and rises up again, but the wicked shall fall into mischief. Now, do I believe there's a lot of spirits that come along with that? I do. I personally believe there's a lot of spirits that come along with that because say they use anything to knock you out of the spirit. But like it says in the scriptures, there's a way for you to escape. Now, if you're dealing with it excessively to where that's all you're doing every day, then that means you probably got too much time on your hands. A lot of times, those so-called addictions come from free time. And what I've learned, it's good to just be away from the house. All right. Now that I'm an older man, I value time more because I don't have a lot of it. All right. I value time more because I don't have other. Right. It says on the other side of the coin, sometimes it might be better than dealing with the wicked woman. That's right. I agree with that because the internet can't put you on child support. The internet can't betray you. The internet can't just take you down through there like that. They're just something that he created, and it's one of the bread and circuses to distract you from the fact that you're a corporate slave, and they're gonna put a you know what in your right hand or your forehead if you're not the elect. All right, just a little distraction, and you feel like shit. And the reason you feel like shit because it's your spirit lost the battle to your flesh. You know, anytime your spirit loses a battle to the flesh, you feel like shit. Then it's spirits that come with that because a lot of people who don't have Yahweh with them, and they start crossing over to the other side with that stuff on the internet. They start watching alphabet stuff, because their brain has been over desensitized to the normal stuff. But if you got the spirit of Yahweh Shai with you, you're not going to engage in that. Now, that's not to say that you should just watch it, but just don't be too hard on yourself if you find yourself doing that. Now I want to segue into recovery. All right, when you watch that, you downloading so many images in your mind, and if you go to sleep at night, you see so many of those images. The Most High has this technology that'll help you recover. First you might take a shower because you're in a state of uncleanness, but the Most High has his things that balance your spirit out. I think saging is good, smudging the place. But another thing is the selenite stick, man. All right, or the selenite stone. All right. So if you're dealing with this stuff on the internet, and like I said, we all have a common temptation, man. All right, we all have a thorn in our flesh. Even if you got a woman, man, we not a lot of us. We're not innately. The Israelite man is not innately monogamous. So even with that, you'll get sexually frustrated, and you'll find yourself watching some stuff on the internet, man. And then you might feel weird or awkward afterwards, like damn. And it's not good if you got a woman because then it lowers your sex drive, you know. But one way that you could accelerate your recovery, there's a gemstone called selenite. All right, called selenite, and it comes in the form, oftentimes in the form of a stick. Now, selenite is a stone that charges other stones, as it says in the scriptures. All things that are useless, and you have to understand the Most High created gemstones too, not just for beauty, but they have spiritual benefits too. And what I realized about the selenite, is that when you put it in your non-dominant hand, the hand that you don't write with, you absorb the energy of that selenite or the spirit of that selenite. Now, what does that do for your? Yep, that's how you spell it, brother. GMS Watch and Pray. That's how you spell it. Now, what you do with that selenite stick, what that selenite stick does, it absorbs negative energy. It absorbs. It's like a whiteout. You know how you write on the board, then you erase it, or you write on the paper and you put the whiteout. Selenite wipes out all that stuff you watched on the internet to keep it from being programmed into your mind. All right. So let's say you sitting down, you meditating, you laying down or whatever, and you watch it, you take a shower, or whatever. And let's say you somebody that once you close your eyes, you start seeing all this stuff back in your head. All right, what you could do, you could. I wish I had the selenite one with me. I usually have one in my car. What you could do, you put it in your hand and you hold it for about 5 minutes. You close your eyes, and what that's gonna do, that's gonna cleanse out your spirit. It's gonna cleanse out your energy inside of your mind. And all those images in the filth that you watch, it's like a whiteout for it over about a 5 minute time period. But it absorbs all that filth. That's what selenite does. It absorbs dirty energy, and it literally does that. So when you hold that selenite one in your hand, and you watched all the videos, and you finna go to bed, I notice you don't really want to go to bed with all those videos in your mind, because that's how Satan starts messing with you spiritually. But what you do, you hold that selenite one in your hand. You might set up a prayer in your non-dominant hand, the hand that you don't write with. If you want to absorb the energy of any stone, you hold it in your non-dominant hand. So with selenite, you hold it in your hand maybe 5 minutes. And you might play meditative music, you might close your eyes. And what it does, it starts to cleanse out all those images in your mind. Okay? Because as long as the image is there, the addiction is probably going to be there. But it helps cleanse out the images in your mind. All right? Another thing you want to do after you watch it, you have to realize that you probably depleted yourself of a lot of minerals. So it's good to take something that'll replenish you. Now, going back to the gemstones, pyrite. All right, please tell me I got pyrite. I don't have nothing with me today. It's heavy because I was scrolling through my Gmail. And realized that a brother sent me an email back in August, and it's a lot to you, brother. But I just so happened to be scrolling through my Gmails, getting ready to go on break, and a brother asked me about this. This is why I'm doing this live stream, and I didn't have a topic, so that'd be the topic, you know. But long story short, after you cleanse your spirit with the selenite, also because selenite is a high vibrational stone, you might want to have a black stone along with that selenite, like tourmaline, onyx, to keep you grounded. Because like if you say plant based or you fasting or you hadn't eaten anything, you'll feel kind of dizzy because your energy is all in your head now because of the selenite. But after you do the selenite cleansing, all right, then you can put a pyrite stone in your hand. Now, what is that pyrite stone? That pyrite is like the sun. The pyrite has the energy of the sun. All right, and you have to understand you're basically energetically absorbing minerals through these stones. That's what you're doing. You're energetically, just how you go to the doctor and they want the medicine to get to you real fast. What do? They put it in your arm so the medicine can get to you real fast. All right, so but when you hold that stone, that's how that spiritual or that metaphysical spiritual medicine gets in you real fast. So after you do your selenite, you hold that pyrite because that pyrite is full of energy. So it's selenite, but that pyrite is the energy of the sun. So now you're putting that energy back in you, and there's a good chance that once you do it, if you feel out of balance from watching the filth, now you might feel back balanced again because you energetically put those minerals back in you. All right. Other stones that could do that, like red jasper, carnelian, those red stones, they have that intense energy. So if you feel yourself feeling tired and depleted, like that demonically tired, and you just feel drained, that's what you want to do. After you cleanse yourself with selenite, all right, you hold the pyrite in your hand, and the pyrite put the energy back in you. And this is not to enable you to start watching that stuff all the time, but sometimes you slip. Like I'm a very stoic brother, man. If brothers that know me personally, and they know me for anything, because I've abstained from a lot of stuff. I've done the cold showers and the plant based and I've done all that. And anytime I slip from it, I feel like shit, and I've been through that through years. One thing I've learned is, man, you're not gonna be 100% in the flesh, man. Like you're not gonna win as long as you're in the flesh. And sometimes it's good to have things that ground you. Sometimes you could read so much and watch so many videos, and you in your sides of head, and you freaking go crazy. And a lot of brothers that fell off from being prideful, they fell off because they didn't have nothing to resist them. So, all things have their uses, even things you struggle with. It has a positive use. It keeps you humble. Losses keep you humble. It was a spiritual loss. Watching it could be like a spiritual loss, especially if you're addicted to it. But losses, no matter what angle it comes in, it keeps you humble. Okay, I'm just reading brothers scriptures. Shalom Zakwan, Yabash Mashar Bagatah. Shalom Zakwan. Pray everything is going well for you, Akim. Yep. So I mean, look, it's a common temptation. I know there's more views on here because of the topic, so that shows that's a common temptation. It's not a sin, but if you're in the spirit, then anytime you lose that spiritual battle, then you feel like crap. And then I think it's spirits that could come with that, but the Most High is not gonna kick you over the cliff spiritually, man, or you're not gonna get hit by a missile or struck by lightning because you watched it. But it's artificial stimulation. That's what it is, artificial. Just how junk food is artificial fruit, well, that's artificial sex. And just like junk food, it feels good while you're doing it. Then what happens after you eat junk food? You feel tired and drained because that's Esau's creation. It's instant gratification, and after you reach that high, then you have an extreme dopamine low. And just like junk food, your brain is addicted to that dopamine rush, those endorphins being released. Your brain is addicted to that. Your spirit is addicted to that. So you want to make an effort, coming back to your nationality and overcoming this beast. You want to make an effort to come back closest to earth as possible, but nonetheless, you slip from time to time. But if you're struggling with it every day, you need to restructure your regimen. You probably at the house too much. That's why the spirit had me on me to do a video. The spirit had me on me to do a video some months ago. It's called "Are You a Demon Unto Yourself?" Because it's not about, it's always a balance. The spirit get on brothers that go out too much and get caught up in stuff when they go out too much. But then there's brothers that never go out, but they inside their head too much. They're up here watching filth all damn day. You know what I mean? Can't be in the spirit. You know what I mean? Or they just inside their head daydreaming about bullshit all day. So like, but now you're not out enough. Like, you should create a structure about yourself that probably you barely at the house until it's time to go to bed. Like, maybe go to the library, go to a coffee shop. You can put your earphones on and nobody got to know you watching the videos. If them demons fucking with you because they're trying to keep you out of the spirit by watching that filth, you ain't got to be at the house. Because that addiction, everybody that has that problem, is the same thing. You relapse at home. You better not be on a fucking J-train on a fucking subway watching that stuff. No, one thing all brothers have in common is that when they relapse or they struggle with that stuff, they at the house. So sometimes all because you're a social recluse, that don't mean you just being righteous. Sometimes you're not righteous unto yourself. So you got to create you a structure and a schedule of what you're gonna do throughout the day and throughout the week. Are you exercising? Because if you're a young brother, if you're a young brother that's not exercising, then that energy has to go somewhere. So the nature of energy is, if you don't have a purpose for the day, if you don't utilize me, I'm gonna release myself some way, and by nature it releases itself through your reproductive organs. You're gonna most likely be horny. Now you got this stuff on the internet, so you know what you're gonna resort to. But if you already know how you are, at some point you got to build you a regimen to where you're not really at the house. I don't trust myself at the house all the time, because I know when I lay down and I go to the back, I'm gonna start watching random videos. Even if it's not that, I feel sapped of energy. I'm just laying down, not doing that. I hate that. I'd rather sit and watch some songs, light an incense, drink some wine, and chill. So sometimes you got to put yourself in a structure where you're not by yourself, because like the Elder Pascal Bar always did videos, you're going to find out that the biggest enemy is you. So that's the recap. When it comes to stuff like this some brothers struggle with. First of all, you have to learn to accept that you're not going to be 100%. That's not the nature of man. Man is not 100%. All right? But so sometimes you're going to slip no matter what it is. And secondly, you have to have a system to recover. So when you do slip, you have to have a system to recover. So you might want to walk around the neighborhood. You might want like I was going to the stones, all things that are useless. They're not here just to be pretty. You know, some of those stones that like the brother Kazak said, they're the most highest technology. So you got stones that balance your spirit back out, to put energy back in you. So you use a selenite stone to cleanse out your spirit after you've washed it. Then use the pyrite or high energy stone like a red stone, like red jasper, to put that energy back in you so you won't feel so demonically drained, so drained out and stuff. All right? But then you gotta look at yourself in third person and say, well, I gotta create me a regimen where I'm not really at the house all the time, because every time I find myself struggling, I'm at the house. You know? But that's all. You know? GMS watch and pray. Second Ezra 7:57. Then answered he me and said, this is the condition of the battle which man that is born upon earth shall fight. So we gonna hey, this is why you hope for the kingdom. Because we're not gonna be fully righteous into the kingdom. You know? You're not gonna be fully righteous until you're not gonna really have it until we get them new bodies, man. These bodies were set up for us to F up. And I hate losing too, brother. So this is to the brother that wrote me the email. I hate losing too, you know. But a just man fall, he rise back up again. And you have to develop the mentality that as a man, you're gonna slip in one avenue or another anyway. You know? I'm like I said, me and brothers like the brother Kazak, the brother Yash, the brothers in the camp, man, we're some very stoic brothers. You know, that's kind of our thing, like self control, self discipline, to get tapped into the spirit. But sometimes you fuck up, man. You know, sometimes you slip. But now I'm a little older and I'm not as hard on myself because I know that in the flesh you're gonna slip. But you have to have a system of recovery, all right? Because we don't have those new bodies yet. But with that, I hope. Well, you know, hey, it says finally, a lot of brothers have spoken about this topic. You know, a lot of brothers have spoken about this topic. A lot of elders have spoken about this topic. You know, because I've watched some of their videos, and we all have the same spiritual attitude towards it. You feel like crap in the spirit. You got demons that tap into your dream and make you have dreams about watching it. Because anything that'll separate you from the Most High, slow you down spiritually, absolutely, damn right, them demons gonna want to make you do that shit. It could be that. It could be you might used to smoke weed back in the world. Now you're in the truth. You might have a dream about smoking weed. You know, you might have been an adulterous ass nigga. All right, now you in the truth. You might start having a dream about some old girl that's married at work, or you might have thoughts in your head that you got to rebuke, man. But I'm at work, bros. I hope you brothers and sisters were edified. Hey, I hope I'm gonna give all honor and glory to Yahweh Shema Shai, by Surah Hakadas, to the honor to our elder apostles and elder bishops of great millstone rule well. Peace and blessings, help the weather to the house of day with the elect. Let me get this scripture right quick. That's heavy. Romans 7:23. But I see another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind. Oh, wait a minute. And bringing me again to the law. I'm trying to read it by memory and I can't. But I see another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind and bringing me into captivity to the law of sin, which is in my members. And what is your members? It's your flesh. And that's how you feel when it happens to you. Romans 7:24. O wretched man that I am, who should deliver me from the body of this death? All right. But with that, hope you brothers and sisters were edified. Don't feel too bad, brothers. Just have a system of recovery. You know, the food and make an effort to eat foods of high vibration because that affects your spirit too. When you eat a lot of junk food, a lot of processed food, that's feeding the flesh, and it makes you more likely to fall for things that your flesh is a slave to. But when you eat food that's like you make those smoothies and you eat the salads and you eat from the earth, you know, you eat your meat, but you eat the plant based and stuff like that. You know, that push you more, and that's more like spiritual food. So once you're in that wavelength of something spiritual, your actions are gonna be more spiritual. But when you're in that wavelength, so to speak, of something carnal, like engaging in junk food, and that makes you more likely to do things that's more carnal, for lack of better words. Hope that makes sense to you. But with that, I hope you brothers and sisters will edify to the next time. Shalom.